Years ago today, I started Urbanist and exploring cities all around the world. Today is the official Urbanist Day to mark that 4-year anniversary. I've been celebrating Urbanist Day every September 7th for the past 4 years in order to mark all these wonderful explorations through the city. So today we're starting with a wonderful treat. I got myself a very special treat. If you recognize this box, you probably already know what it is. Of course, some iconic iced coffee. And I am currently not wearing the mask because I'm eating, and also I'm pretty far away from a lot of people. So feel free to ask me any questions whatsoever about Urbanist. And as I was visiting one of my favorite bakeries, Dominic Ansel here in SoHo. I'm in the neighborhood of SoHo, sitting here by the park. The parks usually have these wonderful chess table seating, which also function as tables, and people are working out behind me. There's a handball court as well. Lots of cool things. This is like a very New York spot right here. And there's a pizzeria right across the corner. It's really cool ambiance. So famous Ben's Pizza. This pizza is a very famous spot for like late night bites, especially when people would like drink late night or go to the clubs late night in SoHo. And of course we see all the beautiful older buildings of SoHo around us. So this, let me know if you know what this is. You recognize it, you might recognize this box. I actually just revealed it. I just revealed what it was briefly. So let me know what is it. Gwen says, happy anniversary. Thank you so much, Gwen. Susie says, happy Urbanist Day. Where am I? I'm in the neighborhood of SoHo. And today is happy Urbanist Day, September 7th. 4 years of doing Urbanist and showing all you guys around the world. So the day is not just for me, but for everyone who's been tuning in, who's been curious about cities all around the world, who has been leaving wonderful comments, supporting, doing all wonderful things. So Urbanist Day is for all of us. So leave those orange hearts. Linda, yes, this is Dominic Ansel Bakery in SoHo. And someone already got it correct. Yep, it is the Cronut, Gwen. It is indeed the Cronut. Handsome design box. The box is actually copyrighted. It's actually copyrighted. So yeah, it's a handsomely designed box. Congratulations for all you do, for all the 4 years you visit all these places. My pleasure. I'm so happy you guys enjoy this show. So what we're going to do today is going to chat about Urbanist. Feel free to ask me any questions. Anything you've been curious about Urbanist. I'll give you a quick history of what this show is. And then afterwards, we're going to do just a short walk around this beautiful area of SoHo and kind of just admire these details. So if you're watching this for the first time, I usually do videos of history of cities all around the world. We explore neighborhoods, museums, landmarks, hidden treasures, hidden secrets, and all the wonderful things in cities, and also food. And today, just a special broadcast where we're sitting down and then doing a wandering. Hello, Cynthia. Cynthia says congratulations. Joe Eileen says congratulations. Puerto Rico and Rome were 2 places I visited. Yeah, they were. Happy anniversary, says Julio. Looks like a beautiful day. It really is a beautiful day. Hello, Ilana. Cronut from Dominic Ansel. Oh, yes. I actually going to switch sides because can't barely see the comments because it's so white due to all the sun. So I'm going to switch sides.
Vieni qua, vieni. Vieni, non sta seduto.
Now, hopefully, no birds will crap on me. Hopefully. Crossing fingers. Federic, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate it. Stanley, good day to you too. I love your shirt. Yes, I'm so glad you love my shirt. It's a new shirt today. Where was your first tour, Susu? So, brief history of Urbanist. And I gotta wash this table. It's a bit dirty before I consume a cronut. a little bit more than 4 years ago, back in around May of 2016, I started making live videos for a company called Vox Media, VOX, under their vertical called Curbed, which is all about real estate and architecture and stuff like that. And it was awesome. Got a lot of views. Some people watched my very first video that I was in front of the camera, which was the Brooklyn Bridge. I did it with a editor, a writer, journalist from that company, and she was very camera shy, and I had to like convince her to do a video with me because I wasn't really a on-camera personality at that time. I wasn't a filmmaker either. I was just a social media manager. And I just asked her what's her favorite place in New York City, because she was the expert. So when I asked her that, just kind of randomly, because she was a bit nervous to be on camera, so she was hesitant. She might have not done it. But when I asked her, what's your favorite place in New York City? She said, oh, I love the Brooklyn Bridge and Brooklyn Heights. Her eyes lit up when she said that. Oh, I love Brooklyn Bridge. It's one of my favorite places in New York City. And I said, all right, that's the place we're going to do. So we did a history of the Brooklyn Bridge. And it got 43,000 views. That time, Facebook was really pushing live video to a lot of people. And some of you who watched that very first broadcast, Kay, Cindy, Donna, and there's a few others. Please remind me if you watched that very first one. That was like around May something 2016. But lo and behold, the company was a bit, just didn't agree with a lot of what the company was going for. They were lovely people, but I just didn't like the company too much. So I decided to go on my own, cover more history, go more in depth into food as well, because I didn't care just about architecture. I really didn't care at that time too much about design. So I decided to go on my own and start another channel. That channel, unfortunately, had some issues due to some work-related contract things. So after a few months of doing that show, which shall remain unnamed, I ended up starting Urbanist in September 7th. 2016 was the very first video. And that very first video was of Hell's Kitchen. So to answer your question, the very first Urbanist video, official live video, was a tour of the history of Hell's Kitchen. It was like 2 hours, and I loved it. It was awesome. So now, and I love, are you currently self-employed? Yes, persevere. I am self-employed. Ooh. Are people able to hear me? Let me see. I hope people are able to hear me. Something's wrong with the mic. Let me know. Sneak on in work. Oh, cool, Dolores. Welcome. And hello, May. Hello. Kay says, Kay is one of the very first viewers of before Urbanist when I started. Kay and Cindy and Donna. And there's a few others. Paula Boyd was watching since the beginning as well, along with Darren and their family. Federic, welcome. Thank you so much for the stars. Jackie, Susu, thank you so much for the stars. Graham, thank you so much for the stars. What's clipped on your shirt? Oh, okay, so audio's good. What's clipped on my shirt is my microphone. It's wireless microphone. The other part is connected to my phone, which you can't see the wire. You've been with me before Urbanist, yeah. So, I went to Dominic Ansel. I was going to grab the avocado toast just to try it out. However, I love their cronuts, and I saw their cronut today, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. Because their cronut today, they change their flavors every single month. Sometimes they have a little green on top, maybe it might be lime. They sometimes have a little bit of yellow on top, it might be lemon. Sometimes they have a little bit of red, it might be raspberry or cherry or strawberry. But today, um, just look. Today it is Urbanist Orange. It is a pumpkin cronut stuffed with rice pudding. So the moment I saw that, I thought to myself, I do have to get that. And that was amazing. All right.
Sì. Quanti?
Let me go one more
Yeah.
thing down here. Those guys are working right in front of where I'm talking. Okay. That's the city for you. So things happening all the time, all over the place. Pretty cronut. Yes, it is. It is a very pretty cronut. I agree. I agree. And I got to disinfect this table now as well. So congratulations, says Uke. Uke, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Uke. Thank you so much also for being a patron. You're probably the patron that has donated the most or has been the highest paying patron. So I really appreciate it. Big hearts to you. Thank you so much for being a patron and donating a very generous amount. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Happy 4th anniversary, says Judith. What is a cronut? Okay. So without further ado, let's eat some cronuts. Let's try this out. B, I'm in SoHo. You can ask me questions directly. I'm not like other live streamers, maybe whatever platform that sometimes don't respond to commenters. I do respond to commenters, so you can ask me questions directly. I'm in SoHo. I'm in SoHo. So cronut is a combination between a donut and a croissant. It was made shortly before I started Urbanist, so this was like 2014, 2013. I did more of a specific history about it. And the interesting thing is Dominique Ansel, who's a French baker, came over to the US because he was kind of tired of the traditional attitude of Parisian bakeries. If you go to a Parisian bakery, there's not that much experimentation. They've perfected the croissant in many of them. They perfected the baguette. They perfected the countless different types of pastries, you know, the eclair. But this guy wanted to experiment with different types. Until he got the idea to combine a New York City classic with a Parisian classic. The donut with the croissant. But it's very difficult to do because this is a 3-day process. Let's try it out. Uh-oh. Watch out when you bite into it. I never get tired of a croissant. It is truly a magical. So the great thing is, there's a lot of copycats, but the croissant has multiple layers. As you know, he was able to replicate multiple layers in a deep fried pastry, which is very, very difficult. There's a lot of copycats. They don't get this layered. They tend to kind of mush together. You won't see this anywhere else. Very few places. I've not encountered a cronut that is as good as the original, Dominique Ansel. No one, I think, has been able to replicate it too well. There's copycats, but these guys do it the best. So this is the pumpkin flavored in Urbanist Orange. Pure coincidence, unless if Dominique Ansel is a huge fan of Urbanist, which I doubt because he's a hardcore baker, so probably doesn't have too much free time. And it's stuffed with some rice pudding. So yeah, I'm at 9K subs right now on YouTube, Persevere. So yeah, I'm about to hit 10K subscribers. I've been getting a whole lot of subscribers recently on YouTube, and ooh, the super chat train started. Rustlin with RUB29. Thank you so much for the RUB29. I appreciate it. Big hearts to you and to all the Facebook star senders. Good morning, Urban Explorer. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to keep biting into this. I'll read your comments soon.
Hop, 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 eh? Sì, per mangiare gli agnolotti devo fare questo.
And the fact that he does a new, innovative flavor every single month for the past 6 years or so is truly magical. Oh, okay, now it's getting messy. Now things are getting messy. That's what happens with the cronut. Things will get messy, and that's okay. That's why you gotta grab a lot of napkins. Hello, Darren. You love rice pudding. I'm so glad you do, Beatrice. George, thank you so much for tuning in, though I appreciate no politics, please. Sharon, watching from Old Jersey. Ooh, what's CL stand for? Thank you so much for tuning in. Missing New York. What does SoHo stand for? SoHo stands for South of Houston. It sounds like the London neighborhood. They have very different types of vibes. They're both kind of cool for their art scene and for nightclub scene, but they're not named after the Soho, after London Soho. So it stands for South of Houston. Yeah, South of Houston.
Quanto?
Uncle Roger, Asians react to Americans' rice pudding. What is the name of the place again? Dominic and Sell Bakery. Dominic and Sell Bakery. Ansel like Ansel Adams. He's a famous photographer. That might not help. So if anyone can write down the name, let them know in YouTube. Hello, Judith. Judith, thank you so much for being a supporter, a patron. So Darren, thank you so much for the stars. I had my first Cronut in Las Vegas. Yes, Dominic Ansel opened in Las Vegas, if I'm correct. He also has it in LA and in Tokyo. Dominique with a Q. Love this, says Kinet. Looks delicious. I try not to eat sugar. I try not to eat sugar too, but I do make exceptions for treats like these. And of course with the good coffee. So I got this coffee at a place that's 1 block away. It's called About Coffee. And I never heard about it before. I explore all these areas of New York. I've walked endless hours through SoHo alone. And I sometimes still bump into new coffee shops that are not new. This one has been open for 4 years. And I was so shocked that it was just open. Sharon, are we walking today? We're doing a little bit of walking, but first we're just chatting. It's an Urbanist day. If you want to see more walking, that'll happen this Wednesday at 1 p.m. It's SoHo in Brooklyn. This is in Manhattan, New York. What do you attribute your amazing personality to? Says Persevere. It's very unique, unlike other YouTubers, very grounded, very friendly, and very kind vibes. Persevere Faith, great question. I attribute my unique personality, and I really do appreciate that compliment. I'm sure you'll find other personalities similar to me. I'm probably not the only one. My other interests, aside from history, cities, and food, is spirituality. So basically spirituality, or anything related to spirituality, metaphysics, and also religion. So that's something I'm really into deeply. And I write a lot about it on my own personal Facebook page and also my own personal Instagram. So you can follow me at the Ariel Vieira on Instagram and read more of my writings. That's why I'm grounded. That's why I've done a lot of spiritual practice for the past 10 years. Ever since I read Zen in the martial arts. And making videos about history has fed into that as well, and vice versa. So yeah, that's why I'm very practiced. I mean, that's why I'm very grounded, as you might be able to tell via video. The Ariel Vieira on Instagram. The Ariel Vieira on Instagram, and then on Facebook you can follow my profile. I don't accept friend requests if I don't know you in person. But you can feel free to follow me. There can only be one of you. Yeah, but I'm sure I'm not the only like personable, grounded YouTuber / Facebook out there. There probably is a few. Google Sedona. Yes, I love Sedona. I can't wait to go one day. I love cream cheese croissants. Oh yeah, croissants king. There's a lot of great croissants out there. Great almond croissants. Azrielina. Oh, I love that name. Similar to my name. It's almost like Ariel. Azrielina. Let me know what it means. Jason, Latinx. Are you asking if I'm Latinx? Yes, I am Latinx. My family's from Puerto Rico. I was raised in a Puerto Rican household. Spanish was my first language. All my family's in Puerto Rico. I'm Latinx. Cynthia says, I think Ariel's authentic and intelligent. Some others, not all, seem gimmicky. Yeah, I know what you mean. I started, before I ever did Urbanist, I was a blogger on Tumblr for 6 years. I wrote on a daily basis. It was a music blog, but around the music I wrote about my personal life and about spirituality. And other things, like romance and other things. So I learned how to be more vulnerable in public. There's a great quote by one of my favorite writers, Paulo Coelho, who is the writer of The Alchemist. And he said, writing is the most acceptable form of being naked in public. And I consider the same thing when it comes with making videos. Not actual nudity, but what he means is you can truly be vulnerable when you write. And I think me being also a writer aside from a filmmaker has helped me be more personable, more grounded via video. It doesn't always translate as well because writing is a lot easier to be very vulnerable. On live videos, it could be harder because anything can happen. So yeah. Have you done any Urbanist meetups? I only did one. It was very quick, so it was very impromptu. One person came. One person came. It was an impromptu meetup. It was only planned a week in advance, and it was partly because a company hired me to do be a storyteller in a bar, and they asked me if I could do it also as a meetup. So it was very quick, and one person came, which was nice. So shout out to you. Milagrosa, estoy, good vibes, welcome. To be an artist, you need to be soul naked, yes. You're personable where others can be factual and stoic. Susu, yes, yeah, I don't want to be slowed down by facts. The reason I talk about history in such a kind of a casual manner, especially live video walking around, I do my research, I respect my history, but I don't get bogged down by all the tiny little details all the time. And some people, might find that very jarring. And it's because to learn more about the world, you can't always have an open textbook or be tethered to your phone all the time. I'm next to a handball court and someone's practicing tennis. Yeah, I'll show you. So you can't always be tethered to the phone or to a textbook. And I've learned that in the online world, there is a bit of a unreasonable expectation to always be 100% factual, 100% correct, 100% on point all the time. I do understand if you're writing something or if you're editing a video, then you have a little bit more opportunity to be a little bit more precise. But in the form of live video, I think, or a podcast conversation, for example, there's a concept that's called thinking out loud in the podcast world. It comes from Joe Rogan, and there's a few other podcasters like him, where they're discussing very serious topics, intellectual topics. They might be discussing history, they might be discussing health, they might be discussing countless topics. And they're thinking out loud. That's what this show is partly about. It's thinking out loud. And not everything will be intensely researched beforehand. Not everything will be 100% accurate all the time. I don't mean to deceive. I don't mean to ever lie about anything. I don't mean to bullshit. I don't bullshit. But if something is said incorrectly, it's because this is the form, this is the medium. So this is thinking out loud, just like I'm doing right now. I don't have a script. I don't have notes with me. I don't have another phone where I can refer to Wikipedia or whatever resource out there, the Britannic Encyclopedia. I don't have that. I don't do it. It's my choice. It's my choice for this type of art form. So that's what Urbanist is different from, I would say, other forms of learning about history. Because yeah, you can learn about history in a lecture, which I do to research for these videos. You can learn history through journalists. There's some great journalists who write about interesting secrets and historical updates and new discoveries. You know, go to National Geographic or go to a blog like Forgotten New York. There's many others. Bowery Boys, and then there's documentaries. You can watch documentaries as well, which are edited, and they take. The reason a documentary takes a long time is because you have to pre-produce it. You have to plan your interviews. You have to shoot it, and then you have to edit it, and that's why you have opportunity to fact check everything and or add a list of references, which I did with my fashion documentary. It took way longer, but that's a more purposeful, intentional work. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and if anything there is incorrect or not so accurate, then that's on me, because that is something I took much more time, I had much more time to do. But a live stream, I think, I'm encountering this a little bit as I'm growing now on YouTube and a lot of new people are watching. They're expecting the history lecture. They're expecting a tour that you might take with the tour guide that already has a script. They're expecting that. This is not a tour where the tour guide has a script. This is not a history lecture. This is not a documentary. This is live. This is a hangout with a friend who loves history. And passion, yeah. So let me show you the tennis before I continue. Thank you for the question. So kids are playing tennis, there's a playground nearby. It's interesting how people look at me. Yeah. You can see it because people are passing right behind me. Happy anniversary. What you do here is very informative, says Sharon. Thank you so much. What are your inspirations? And I gotta answer more questions. ¿Tienes don de palabra? Rubén, gracias por preguntar. Puede preguntarme cualquier cosa. No entiendo, ¿qué usted está diciendo? Don palabra. Tengo mucha palabra, eso sí. I do have a lot of words to say. When you share knowledge, it always comes across as part of a conversation you're having with us. Natural and sincere. Yes, Graham, I'm glad you recognize that. When everything opens up, you should do in-person walking tours. I already do offer in-person walking tours. Private tours, custom. So you can go urbanist.live/tours and see those. and you can feel free to reach out to me. All right, I'm gonna bite more into this because it's so good. So my inspiration as Persevere, if I miss your question, feel free to ask again. My first inspiration for Urbanist was the vlogger Casey Neistat. I loved Casey Neistat. So Casey Neistat, if you haven't seen it, check him out. Search him on YouTube. The way he films everything, very purposeful with the camera. He does vlogs, and vlogs are kind of down-to-earth videos about your life. But Casey Neistat is a filmmaker, and he was a filmmaker even before vlogging. So he always is very purposeful how he frames the picture, that has inspired me. That's why sometimes you see these framing. It's not purely accident. I am intentional with putting the camera down, kind of knowing where it's pointing. The other person who inspires me is Graham Hancock. He's a journalist who writes books about ancient history. Really great guy. And I saw his lecture a few months prior to starting Urbanist, and it was 2 hours. And he took us from ancient tablets that are all around the world, to meteors and the cosmos in 2 hours. Took us on this journey. That was crazy. If you listen to any lecture by Graham Hancock, highly recommend going there because it is amazing. Highly, highly recommend watching his lectures or reading his books. To me, he's one of my top inspirations for telling stories about history. And then beyond that, for film, is James Cameron. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Happy Urbanist Day to our wonderful Urbanist Jackie, long-term Urbanist. Have you considered doing the Urbanistas, featuring interesting personalities of New York City? Jason, great question. I do sometimes feature people I walk around with. You know, I had an impromptu, wonderful conversation with Robbie, who's the bike messenger. I featured 2 days ago the JP, who's the farmer or the gardener in Prospect Heights. He was really cool to feature. And then I also featured many other people, countless other people. I featured many tour guides. Though this is not what my show is about. I don't really just go up to random people. It's not really my deal. So I would recommend other channels. If anyone knows any other channels where they do interview random people, let us know. That it's something I'm personally so interested in. Can you speak about your relationship with trust? Says Benson. Whoa, Benson. Serious question. Trust with a big T? Trust with the big T means, to me, knowing that someone has your best interest in mind. In terms of making videos, naturally I've come across people who want to collaborate, who I had an intuition that they did not have my best interest in mind. And you can think to yourself, yeah, it's business or it's a creative collaboration. You know, best interest doesn't mean anything. But it does. Because even in most random encounters where you are talking with the baker of an awesome pastry shop, or you're talking to a waiter while going to an amazing restaurant, or you're talking to a friend, if you have their best interests at heart, regardless if you know them or not, you're going to have a good conversation, you're going to have a good interaction, you're going to have a good time with them. So that's what trust with the big T is for me. It's knowing that someone has the best interest for me, regardless of whether they know me or not. Of course, trust is a two-way street, but if someone meets you and immediately doesn't have their best interest, your best interest in heart, then why should you trust them? Right. You know, there's a lot of people, even in the world of video and online video, like YouTube and Facebook, where you meet them and yeah, you kind of get the feeling that if anything goes wrong, or if you ask them for, you know, a favor or collaboration in return, it's a one-way street for them, you know. Yeah. So that's what trust with the big T means to me. Collaboration as opposed to usury. What's usury, Cynthia? In Puerto Rico, te refería to ti buena fe. Buena fe, yes, good faith. So that is also trust with the big T, is good faith. Is even in these videos, sometimes I get comments that are kind of very nitpicky on tiny little things, and they discount the entire video. They discount everything else I say because they nitpick on a small little detail, which I've briefly mentioned earlier. That is in bad faith. That is someone watching in bad faith. That's a comment in bad faith. And I see sometimes those comments, and no judgment against them, no anger against them. What's the point? But they're in bad faith. So they're not really going to be a good community member to this type of show anyway. Same thing in the conversation where you're having with a friend or a colleague or intellectual colleague in some other, you know, kind of academic circles or whatever. You sometimes have these conversations either in good faith where, yeah, if you say something, you know, that might be wrong or slightly not so accurate or maybe not so perfect or so eloquent, you don't immediately disregard everything they say and say that they're wrong, they're bad, they're terrible, go away. Don't do that. That's bad faith. Good faith is keep going with the conversation. Keep talking with that. Keep going. Jackie asks, what has been major positive characteristic you found in humans around the world that have common each other? Ooh. You know, there's a bee over here. Bees sometimes get very attracted to coffee. I'm not entirely sure why. Yeah, across the world. I've traveled to London. I've traveled to Rome, Paris, Helsinki, Puerto Rico. I think what is natural to all humans, regardless of where they're from, is kindness. You will find kindness anywhere. You'll find kindness anywhere. The problem with a lot of the world, and Gwen asked me what makes me angry, I think this makes me a little bit angry, is that while kindness is natural to the human condition, I think, especially while traveling, to me it's very apparent that sometimes you find these small random acts of kindness that are very beautiful. If you get lost in a random street in Naples, someone tells you a direction, that's a random act of kindness. If someone gives you $1 because you really needed to take public transportation and they decide to give it to you, that's a random act of kindness. If someone opens the door for you, it's a random act of kindness. Those are kindnesses, and I think it's natural to humans. But what gets me angry, what I do notice, is that a lot of people decide to go against that. And they decide to not be kind to one another. And we see that on much bigger issues in our world, but also you see that throughout history. You see a lack of kindness. A lot of things will be fixed if one is just kind. It's so easy to be kind. It's natural to us. And if there's more kindness to people of different groups, different cultures, different ways of communicating, different styles of making videos, different tastes for food, different political beliefs, different religious beliefs or rituals. If you're just kind, it might change a whole lot. It might change a whole lot. And that's very evident through all the history I've talked about. I gotta use a fork and knife for this. This is getting messy. Kindness matters. Kindness does matter. Yes, it does. It does matter. All right. Last bite. This is truly a godsend. Truly the best pastry you'll ever have. The best pastry I've ever had in my life is this cronut. It's cronuts in general. Highly recommend trying the cronut. Buen provecho, gracias. I already finished, so gracias. Delicious, delicious. Okay, let me drink a little bit more coffee. We'll chat for about 10 more minutes and then let's wander around for a little bit. What's for brunch, Shayla? I'm not having brunch. I'm probably having dinner with a friend. So nothing for brunch. This was my brunch. Que Rico says, Ruben, such a beautiful day. It really is a beautiful day. You know, Gavin says, I love your videos and find them inspirational and reassuring, especially in these scary COVID times. Wishing you continued success and would love to see London videos one day. Gavin, go to the videos tab on Urbanist Facebook, scroll down, and I have like 40 London videos. I went 1 month in London, January 2018, and absolutely loved it. Was obsessed with that city. Can't wait to go back. You'll be seeing more London videos in the future as well. And the Dalai Lama said his religion is kindness. Yeah, same thing applies to every single religion around the world, especially when you learn its history. You know, a lot of people think that religion, which I've done a few videos about the history of certain religions. I've done definitely Catholicism. I've done Episcopalian recently. I've talked about some Christian lore as well. I've done briefly about Islam when I was in Madrid. So I've done a few videos of religion, and religion is not just beliefs or going to mass or praying or the call to prayer or whatever ritual you might do. That's one aspect, but there's also a whole lot of history there to learn, and all that history comes also with wisdom. That doesn't necessarily have to be religious, it's also could be secular. Are you familiar with Valencia bakeries? No. What's Valencia bakeries? Let me know. Let me know, what's Valencia bakeries? Have I ever been to Argentina? Not yet. I am so excited to go to Argentina, especially Buenos Aires. I've heard that they have amazing food. I can't wait to have a parrillada with all the different meats, like all the different cuts of beef, and also all the potatoes, and the Argentinian pizza as well. I would love to see you in medieval cities in Spain, says Ruben. Yeah, you will see a little bit more of Spain. I do have to go back to Spain. I didn't have the best first impression of Madrid, mostly maybe because I went during the cold winter months, and it was pretty dark most of the time there, and the history is also a little bit depressing, but for Madrid specifically. But maybe other cities like Sevilla and Barcelona might offer more interesting history and a little bit more positive, I hope. So someone asked, do I live by the ferry? I don't live by the ferry, but I do love taking the ferry. Jason says Tokyo videos in the future. Yes, 100%. You'll be seeing Tokyo at some point. Beautiful words, says Judith. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed the words. Let me see if I missed any questions. Can you do live on the ferry? Drew, yes. I've already done like 4 lives on the ferry. Go to the videos tab on YouTube. You'll see all my videos. Past month, I did like at least 4 videos on the ferry. That's the mood I like in Urbanist, says Julio. Oh, I'm glad you do. I approach to your walking videos more like a voyeur to see how affected New York City is in this dystopic times. It's not so dystopic. Things are looking pretty chill over here. So I'm glad you're enjoying a different version of New York from what you might be seeing on the news. Robert Parker says, you know, Urbanist, you're talking about including to be kind to one another, which seems to be missing during these times of social upheaval, Robert. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think if we were to be kind, it'll make a huge difference in many aspects of our lives, both individual and societal. Have I been to Sedona? No, not yet. Maybe you'll see me in Sedona at some point with live videos. Though, in terms of mystical cities, I've covered one, Glastonbury, and that was in England, and it's absolutely magical. I did 2 videos there. I wish I would have done like 4 or more because there was so much awesome things over there. But yeah, I did Glastonbury. I'm loving this chat, says Judith. Are you intrigued by South Asian cities? Yes, I am, 100%. I would love to go to Tokyo, South Asian, so Tokyo is not South Asia. So I would like to go Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, which might go under a different name, I think. Is it still called Ho Chi Minh? Bangkok, Chiang Mai. I would love to do Jakarta at some point, though I'm not sure how safe it is to do videos on the street there. Maybe, I don't know. Singapore. There's a lot of cool places to visit. Black Owl says you will love the history and culture of Argentina, especially the meat. Oh yes, I've heard. I've tried. I love Argentinian food here. And the pizza, you're so right. Yes, there's a very unique pizza that's different from New York style there in Argentina, because there was a lot of Italian immigrants around the same time. You should come to Seattle. Jackie, yeah, I do intend to go to Seattle at some point. I would love to do the history of Starbucks. And I'm sure there's a few other cool things in Seattle as well. But Starbucks is, and also Pete's and Starbucks. I would love to do a history of both of them. Where am I, Gwen? I'm in SoHo, New York City. I'd like you to visit Kyoto. Oh yeah, Kyoto. Oh yeah, you'll see me in Kyoto. You're gonna love Tokyo, says Vanessa. Oh, I can't wait. I already started reading about Japan. I already started like learning things about Japan already for the past like 3 years. So yeah, I'm already researching Japan whenever that ends up happening. One of my favorite channels for Japan is called Abroad in Japan. And the guy who runs it, he's British, and he makes videos about Japanese culture, and he has great British humor, and I absolutely love his show. Have I done a graffiti walk? Yes, I have. I've done a graffiti walk. Search Urbanist Bushwick Collective, and I have like 3 videos on it. One of them with a street art expert. His name is Jeff Steyerwalt, which I bumped into him in a recent video I did while eating a hamburger in Williamsburg. I might do another video with him. If anyone's interested in doing a new updated street art / graffiti live video with a graffiti street art expert, let me know in the comments. Oh yeah, the Kyoto in the fall, best season for cool. Let me finish this coffee and then we'll walk. We're almost at an hour talking over here. Whoa. Watch only in Japan. Yeah, I've heard about Japan. I also love Lessons from My Home. It's such a great show as well on YouTube. Do you know Ben's Pizza over the road? Jamie, not so much. I haven't been. I know it's a famous late night spot. I haven't never tried it. I usually go to other places for pizza nearby. Specifically Joe's in Greenwich Village. B says, do you know about the channel Jabzy? He walked across Eurasia from a city in Japan, which translates as White Castle, to his home in White Castle, UK. No, I will check it out. Thank you so much for the recommendation, Jazby. That's cool that he did a bunch of walking videos across the Eurasian continent. Ciao, thanks for your great results and for your anniversary, Paola. Paola, thank you so much for watching. And I am excited to go to Florence at some point. It seems like I'm in the US Open. It is. I am in the US Open over here. It would be nice to watch a street art video, says Irene. Cool. Any desire to visit Russia? To be honest, I can't really explain it to you logically. I just don't get good vibes from Russia. I love Russian people. I have many Russian friends. But the prospect of visiting Russia, it just doesn't feel right. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think one aspect is I rarely ever meet anyone who has visited Russia, aside from my Russian friends who go there to be with family. Even my Russian friends, say that they prefer to be here in the US. So, I don't know. Let me know about Russia. I personally had never been really intrigued, to be honest. However, when it comes to other parts of the Eastern Europe, Poland, yes. Poland, I am intrigued to go to Poland. Krakow seems absolutely beautiful, and Warsaw as well seems very interesting, especially with all that communist architecture. So, yeah. And that's where Men in Black 2 was filmed. Oh, they filmed in this pizza shop. Oh, cool, Jamie. Thank you for the recommendation. Shayla, graffiti would be way cool. So would Korea. Korea one day, you'll see Korea. I am intrigued about Korea. Darren says, I haven't seen Jeff in ages. Oh, yes. Jeff will be coming back if you've seen the video, my videos for quite a while. Persevere says, what advice do you have for someone who's stuck in life? So since this is a show mostly about travel and history, one thing I will say in the context of travel and history is step out of your comfort zone. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck in life, persevere. Let me know what area you live in again. Just challenge yourself to visit a new part of town, a new part of your nearest city, or travel to your nearest city and visit a place you haven't seen. Go to a historic neighborhood maybe, if you have one. If you don't, maybe some cool part of town where there's a lot of restaurants and cafes. Even if you're alone or if you're with family or a significant other, sit down at a new restaurant that you haven't had ever before. Or visit that historic neighborhood. Or go to that new coffee shop in your town or your suburb, or take a drive to your nearest city if it's reasonable distance, and just explore. Step out of your comfort zone just one step. It doesn't need to be doing something crazy. It doesn't mean to be, walking through the most dangerous parts of New York. It doesn't mean skydiving in some abandoned field in Long Island, if you were here in this area. It doesn't mean, going scuba diving. It could just mean going to a new restaurant or to a historic neighborhood you've never been to. Just go out of that comfort zone and you'll see that you can travel within your own city, within your own town, within your own suburb. And if you travel within your own city, town, suburb, you will end up having a new experience. You'll end up feeling just a little bit better. And keep doing that. Keep challenging yourself to do that. I do that myself. These videos are kind of my way of doing it, is constantly forcing myself to go to new places and also learning new histories. So to me, it's a little bit of out of a comfort zone. I've covered cities like London. I'm not from London. As I mentioned, I don't have a degree in history. So I did 1 month of London videos. I had to learn all that London history. That's outside my comfort zone. And it was wonderful. So do that. Do that. Since we're listening to a tennis game, do you enjoy any sports? I love handball. And I love tennis. You know, I haven't played too much tennis, but if I were to pick up a sport now, it would be either tennis or handball again. Volleyball is also fun with friends. All right, let's walk around. I'm gonna drink a little bit more of this coffee. So good. Let me feel free to ask me any questions about Urbanist. Today's Happy Urbanist Day, September 7th. Let me know what orange treat or New York City food, because I've been in New York City for quite a while. Let me know what orange treat or New York City food are you going to celebrate with today. Do I ever feel scared of filming? Some places, yes. Not in New York. It doesn't happen very often in New York. Doesn't happen often in New York. I would feel a little bit wary in certain neighborhoods, maybe like a Brownsville or a South Bronx. I did a video in the South Bronx. Felt a little bit wary. I didn't feel so comfortable kind of going out and, lingering. In Naples, it was a beautiful city. I did like a massive 3-hour walk, but there was one area I ended up reaching towards the end of my walk and didn't feel so comfortable. It felt like I shouldn't keep walking here, so I walked the other direction. So yeah, sometimes. And sometimes if I do a food video, if I go to a quiet restaurant, if it's very quiet, that there's almost no one around, then I feel comfortable. But if it's quiet with only a few people around, that's the hardest to do. When I was in Italy, I tried to do a video about one of the best pasta carbonara places. And for some weird reason, there was like a group of 6 or 7 people. There was a few groups of 6 or 7, of like 2 or 3 people each. And they were all really quiet. They were just eating quietly. And if they were conversing, they were conversing at a very low volume. And I thought to myself, I cannot make a video in this environment. Either it has to be empty or it has to be full. So with food videos, I don't do it in the middle. It's very awkward. I've been doing videos for 4 years, and even with all my experience, it's still very daunting to do a video when there's only a few people there and it is very quiet. What's my favorite Broadway show? I haven't seen Hamilton yet, but I love the cast album, so it would be Hamilton. But from the Broadway shows I've seen, Something Rotten and Book of Mormon. All right, let's walk around. Actually, I drink some water before. Do I have any NYC roommate horror stories? I do not, luckily. Though I do have some dating horror stories, but maybe that's for another broadcast. Liz, sí, yo hablo español. Yo creo que tú has visto anteriormente, Liz. Sí, yo soy fluente en español y cualquier persona está mirando en español, puedo hablar, puede preguntar cualquier cosa, te lo respondo. I also do speak Spanish, so feel free to ask me anything in either language. Eat another black and white cookie for me, says Jackie. Oh, yeah, Jackie. Shayla, have I ever run out of power doing a live stream? Yeah, of course. Though I do have an external battery pack, so I usually don't struggle with bad power output. So here's Soho. This is actually looking very nice. No through traffic here. Ooh, cool. Can you show the bakery? Yes. Okay, let me show you the bakery. So, no through traffic here. This is nice. They closed down the street. Lots of awesome restaurants. And let me show you the bakery. We'll go in front of it. Just going to leave the hospital in a few minutes, catch up when I go home. Yes, Kay, you have recovered. Everyone give that big heart button to Kay. Kay has been watching from the hospital the past few days. Apparently she has recovered enough to go back home. So everyone give your love and hearts to Kay. She's been watching from the very beginning. And I know some other people may have watched at some point from the hospital. If you have, or if you're currently in a position where you're recovering from health, my heart also goes out to you. I know some people keep those things private, so they might not say it out loud. So my heart goes out to you. So with 2K and to all the other people, anyone else who might be watching, who might be recovering from some health condition or watching from a hospital, do have a speedy recovery as well. Karen, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate it. All right, so here's the bakery. Show it to you. Dominic Ansel, right here. Dominic Ansel. So it's spelled. And I'll show you a photo of inside because I'd rather not go inside. It's very full. So I'll just post a photo here. And these are the pastries that they have inside. So right there.
Look at Rachel's head.
So yeah, highly recommend it. Teddy, yo estoy en el barrio de SoHo en Nueva York. SoHo, que es la parte baja de Manhattan. I am in SoHo, New York, Lower Manhattan. No, no, it's not busy. If you are in New York City at this very moment in time, do take advantage of going to Dominic Ansel. It is empty. It is the perfect day, or just in general before tourism opens up again, because Dominic Ansel is usually packed with tourists. It's one of the best pastry shops in the world. I'm not saying that as an exaggeration. It's literally one of the best pastry shops in the world, agreed upon by countless food critics and reviewers, food blogs, and also myself. So, highly recommend if you're in New York right now, if you're a tourist from Queens or from Staten Island, go, 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 go. You'll enjoy it. Susie says, but New York City is a hellscape. Yeah, New York City is a hellscape. Oh my God, look, trash. Look at these streets. So quiet. So clean, for the most part. Oh my God, crime everywhere. I gotta watch out. I gotta watch out. Crime. There's crime. There's a woman with a dog. Look at that. Judy, if someone could write the name of the bakery down it. The bakery is Dominic Ansel. Dominic Ansel. Here's the coffee shop I recommend, right next to Dominic Ansel. Dominic Ansel doesn't have good coffee though. They have great pastries. They have good brunch items like the egg sandwich. They also have a few other great options like a grilled cheese that I highly recommend. But if you want your coffee, just go one block over and you'll have more seating. Go here. About coffee. So today's emptier than usual. Don't be alarmed. It is a bit emptier. This is normal for Labor Day. Not that many people hang out here in Labor Day, specifically in the neighborhoods of SoHo and West Village. And there's many other neighborhoods. You'll be hard pressed to see Upper West Side filled with people also on the Labor Day. Labor Day, a lot of people, just like Memorial Day and July 4th, tend to go out to the island, or they go to other parts of New Jersey or Connecticut. Have I done a Jackson Heights walk? I have done the Jackson Heights walk. Teddy, I've done a lot of them. Search Jackson Heights Urbanist and you'll see all of them. The last one was during my birthday, June 19th. Here's Blacktop. They're known for their crazy burgers and milkshakes. Next weekend will be busy, 9/11. Yeah, there will be more people on 9/11. If they have good chocolate croissants and coffee, then I'm in. I haven't tried their croissants yet, but their coffee was good. What's the story with wearing white on Labor Day? Oh, Cindy. If you wear white before Labor Day, that's bad luck. I actually have no idea. It's I think it's like a silly joke that Americans say to, I don't know, it's a silly joke. The thing is, if you wear white before Labor Day, when is before Labor Day? Because is it before or is it also after? I don't know. Sandy, Forest Hills? Yes, I've done Forest Hills. I've done a little bit of Forest Hills Gardens. Search Forest Hills Urbanist. Here's another recommendation. This one is Pie Greek Bakery. Really great baked goods here, including baklava. There's a lot of great places here in SoHo. SoHo is a very good place for food, drinks, and pastries. And coffee as well. You got a little sun. I am getting a little sun. It's been a very, very sunny day. There's barely been clouds any of these days. Do I have any pets? No, persevere. No pets. Persevere. Doreen, white after Labor Day. Are you going to introduce your girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend at this current moment in time, Jamie. But when I do, yeah, you will see. I probably won't date anyone who doesn't like being on camera. Probably won't work. Thank you, Justine. So it's wearing white after Labor Day that's considered a no-no. Fashion sense of yesteryear. White is considered a summer color. No one pays it mind anymore. Yeah, okay, so that's what it means. It means that summer's over, don't wear white after Labor Day. Adam, did I bring sunscreen? No, I did not. I am wearing it though. What camera am I using? The iPhone Pro 11 Max. Every time I say it, it changes the order. Is it iPhone 11 Pro Max? Is it iPhone 11 Pro to the max? Is it iPhone 11 Max Pro? All right, here's laundry. Last year, I had the pleasure of doing videos in Paris. And I did get a super chat. Yes, I did. Let me feature it. Thank you so much for Jamie. Sondar, please feel free to correct me. Sondar, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the super chatters, star senders, PayPalers, supporters, and patrons. There's many other ways you can support the show on Urbanist Day and all days. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sondar. I appreciate it. Nope. Also, big thanks to Tom, Jin, Deanna, Calvin, Sally, Anna, Sharon, Elizar, Sandra, Zaid, Lori, and many others like Patricia, Mallory, Stephanie, Judith, and also all the PayPalers like Richard Lamb, and many others for giving wonderful support to Urbanist. Thank you. Out of town or behind you? Yeah, maybe it happens. So, Loterie, I did a history of Loterie in Paris. Check that out. And here's one of my other favorite coffee shops. And they have outdoor seating now, which is, wow, it's much better. Oh, they have really good outdoor seating in their alleyway. So this is ground support, and they have crazy amounts of outdoor seating. Highly recommend it. SoHo a fancy area? Yes, it is. It's fancy, but don't worry, there you will find places that are affordable. Not everything is very expensive. If you want to go to a little bit less expensive, just go to the next neighborhood down, which is called Nolita. I've done many videos down there, and there you'll find much more affordable foods. Do I watch Travel Channel on my own time? I don't know. Very rarely. I love Anthony Bourdain. He was on CNN towards the end of his life. I watch, whenever I visit a new city, I watch the Anthony Bourdain episode of it. So I watched the Rome episode before I went to Rome, and the Paris episode before I went to Paris. I do admire Josh Gates. I don't watch his show too much, but on Discovery, he makes shows about ancient history. It's called Expedition Unknown. And I love his show. If I were to make any show on TV or streaming, it would be about forgotten ancient history, which there's already a few shows that cover it, but I don't think they cover it quite in the style I would like to cover it. I would like to cover it with a little bit more seriousness and a little bit more deeper, because I think a lot of shows tend to be a little bit superficial when they cover ancient history, which is okay. Every show is different. So here is very empty. Whoa. Persevere, I love your questions. Thank you so much for asking great questions. What's my longest walk? 4 hours and 25 minutes. Look, everyone, New York City is a hellscape. Look at all this graffiti. So much graffiti. Look at this. Vandalism. What are they writing here? Love? Vandalism. I'm being sarcastic, everyone. So, persevere, I need tips for traveling on a budget. Try going to Airbnb instead of a major hotel. That's number one. Airbnb, sometimes you'll be able to stay in much better places for longer and for cheaper in more historic central neighborhoods. For food, when you are in the US, consider going to Chinatown if you are in the city with a Chinatown. There's a few other countries also that have Chinatowns, like Canada has Chinatowns and Mexico has a Chinatown. So go to Chinatowns. They tend to have the best valued food, in my opinion, from my experience, I mean. If you're in Europe, London Chinatown also has very good priced food. But if you're in other parts of Europe, food will be much cheaper. Paris, my top recommendation for affordable food is going to the bakeries, the boulangeries. They have full sandwiches, freshly made, with great bread, very inexpensive, and also a salad, very inexpensive. You go to a restaurant, then you're going to be spending a lot more money. If you go to a place like Rome, everything is cheap. So it depends on the city, but that's my big recommendation. Food, go to a Chinatown if there is one. And museums, check if there are a free night, if there's a free night for the museum. So here's one of the Instagrammable streets. Let's walk down. Who wants to see people take Instagrams? Let's go. So let me walk on the shadowy side. Have I done a walking tour of Hoboken? No, not yet. I'm hoping that you'll do more dance videos. Me too. Yeah, I do want to make more dance videos at some point, so stay tuned. So here, one of the most famous streets to take Instagrams. You'll see a lot of Instagram speed taken here. Awesome cobblestones. Look at these cast iron buildings. Adam, maybe Hoboken. Yeah, maybe soon. You know, guys, I think it's time. Stay tuned. Next week, you will finally be seeing New Jersey. I think it's time. I think I just gotta make the commitment. So, not this upcoming week, but the week right after. Stay tuned. That Wednesday and that Saturday, you're gonna finally see Jersey City and Hoboken. We just gotta go for it. If you're hyped for this, press that heart button, press that like button, let me know. Hoboken and Jersey City. Not this Wednesday and Saturday, but the one right after. Jackie, you lived in New Jersey for a while. Oh, so awesome. Look how ugly New York City has become. Oh, cast iron. Oh my, who would live in this hellhole? Again, I'm being sarcastic. This is truly beautiful area of the city. It might have used to look a little bit run down back in the 1970s, but look, with a little bit of maintenance and a little bit of updating, look how beautiful SoHo is. You know, cities, yes, they might go downhill for a little while. 1970s New York, this was called Hell's 100 Acres. Quite a dramatic name. But look how gorgeous this is now. Just with a little bit of repair, just with a little bit of cleaning up. That's all I needed. Mixed, Doreen. So we have a mix of residential, commercial on the bottom generally, and some of these are offices. So we have three things: commercial, residential, and offices. Pro tip, if you're looking for coffee shops that are kind of more relaxing to hang out in and tend to be emptier than usual, Dr. Smood. Not the best coffee, but it's just always kind of a consistent place to sit down and grab a good coffee or smoothie. Probably millions of renovations, indeed lost. You know, there is money always involved in the restoration of these neighborhoods. But to say that we need to destroy them or that they are dead forever, I think is always an overstatement. So that's why I made that sarcastic comment. Yes, sometimes costs are involved. But with all things in life, it does require manpower, human power to redesign, to restore, to remake. I don't think you can expect New York City to, or any city for that matter, to be repaired for free. It's just an unreasonable expectation. It might seem like it's just a few buildings, but it involves electricity. Now let's actually walk down this way and we'll go to the West Village. It involves electricity, it involves water pipes, heating, electric, in some cases air conditioning. It involves a whole lot of things. It involves painting, it involves fixing the reliefs, it involves maintaining the fire escapes. You cannot expect these buildings to be cheap to rebuild. And the same thing applies to literally any city in the world. There's nothing as free buildings. If they are made by the government, then you don't have too much unique architecture generally, which you do see in the Soviet buildings in many Eastern European countries. Unfortunately, you do have these kind of monolithic gray buildings. So, yeah. What time is the best month to visit? I would say this time. You know, when you start getting to September and early October, New York City is just pleasant. It depends on your tastes. If you want a calmer city, a city where you feel more relaxed in, which I tend to prefer personally, I would visit New York City in September. A lot less tourists generally, and better weather. If you want a little bit more life, come in June and July. Lots of car commercials get shot in the street. Yeah, they do, Benson. Yeah, they do. Do you think the city's future is uncertain? No. History says, you can learn from history that there might be a down point. It might go a little bit further downhill. I, of course, don't hope that's the case, but it might. But it will get back up again, and it will be better than it was before. You know, things do trend upwards in most cities around the world. Remember, New York City is 300 years old, a little bit longer, 400 years old. New York City, 400 years old. Rome, 2,000 years old. Shanghai, 2,000 years old. Beijing, 2,000 years old. Cairo, 2,000 plus. You have cities that are immensely old. Tehran in Iran is also immensely old. New York is young compared to most cities around the world, especially compared to European cities. London, also 2,000 years old. What's the history of these cobblestone streets? Yeah, so those are called Belgian blocks because cobblestone is like a different type of stone. And the unique thing is the reason we have them is because these predate the modern type of paving with asphalt that started in the 1900s. The Belgian blocks are because these buildings used to be major industrial manufacturing and commercial spaces in the 1850s and 60s. Hoboken's repeat as home to Frank Sinatra. Oh, that's good to know. Can't wait to look into that. Thank you, Adam. Mo, you feel like a tourist in your own city. Oh, I'm glad you do. Looks like an Edward Hopper painting. Yes, but I've done videos of Labor Day before. Labor Day tends to be very quiet. Just in general, it tends to be quiet. A lot of people in this particular neighborhood and a few others tend to go to the Hamptons, New Jersey, Jersey Shore, Connecticut. Beautiful Mercedes-Benz. Whoa. Look at this. This looks like a nice car. I usually don't pay attention to cars, but wow, this one's gorgeous. As Riella, have I explored real haunted places? Yes, I have. Yes, I've been to real haunted places. Search Urbanist Halloween. You'll see my videos about haunted places in New York. But beyond that, I've been to the Merchant's House here in New York City. I've been to the Smallpox Hospital. I've been to several haunted places in Rome. London, I also cover like a haunted place or two. I've been to many haunted places. There's two haunted places on Spring Street, which I covered last fall. What area has the most cobblestone streets? I think you'll find the most cobblestone streets here in SoHo and the West Village. Yeah, cobblestone is SoHo and the West Village. Not so much in downtown Manhattan. And that weird abandoned military base. Doug, yes, which one was that again? Sometimes I've done so many videos that I don't remember all of them. Yeah, let me know which was the haunted military base. Okay, I gotta take a small break, water break, before I continue. Yes, I went to Morris Jamel Mansion, another haunted spot of New York. A hair fall into my eye, so I gotta desanitize my hands and then scratch my eye. This is why you watch live video. 1,740 calories burned. Oh, seems like I already burned that cronut. Let me know, what time is it right now? So today's a Happy Urbanist Day. If you're just tuning in, feel free to ask me any questions about Urbanist. And yeah, since you're walking around. 12:37, thank you. There we go. The pandemic is a bit frustrating because with live video, it's sometimes you gotta take small breaks to even pull a hair out of your eye. Alright, there we go. And how many days do you think someone needs as a tourist in New York? You can easily see New York in 3 days. You can see like all the major tourist spots in like 3 days. Very easy to do that. However, I would say you will have more than enough to do here for 2 whole weeks. You will not get bored, not one day. You're here for a month, I think the same thing. If you're a fan of history, 1 month, you will not get bored of New York. So 2 weeks, if you're just a tourist who just enjoys what most tourists enjoy, going to the major attractions, going to the major restaurants or fun restaurants, visiting maybe some interesting neighborhoods or ethnic neighborhoods. 2 weeks, you will not get bored. You will have something to do every single day. 1 month, if you're a fan of history, you will have something to do every single day. 2 months, if you want to really live the New York City experience, you won't have something to do every single day, but you will enjoy it because there's a lot of chilling to do in New York. You know, there's a lot of kind of leisureness that you can enjoy in New York. Going to the park, sitting at a cafe for a few hours, going to an outdoor concert, lingering at a museum for many more hours than you would if you were on the clock as a tourist visiting only for 3 days. There's many more leisurely things you can do. So that's my biggest recommendation. And a water break. And if you visit New York City many times, maybe challenge yourself to only visit Brooklyn and see what's in Brooklyn. You know, stay in Brooklyn. Don't even take the subway across, and just see what you can see in Brooklyn. You can just do the same thing with Queens for a reasonable amount of time. Besides taking the subway, have you been to the LIR? Yes, I take the LIR, and it's really reliable. It's more expensive than trains in Europe, so you know, keep that in mind. New York City is more expensive than Europe. It is. London might seem expensive, but when you add up the cost, New York is more expensive. However, there are ways to experience New York cheap. That's the good thing about New York. There are options. I love your masks. I'm so glad you do. All right, so I'm staying live for 30 more minutes. We're gonna go towards Greenwich Village. So feel free to ask me any questions. Let me know if you want me to point the camera anywhere. I've been doing this for 4 years, exploring cities all around the world. Already, I think the count is around 15 cities. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite city? I know many of you watch because of New York, so what's your favorite city aside from New York that I've covered? Let me know in the comments for the people who have been watching for quite a while. If you're new to Urbanist, let me know what's the favorite neighborhood you enjoyed so far. PR is 524 years old. Yes, Petrin, I did cover San Juan, which is the oldest city I've done so far in North America. I haven't done Teotihuacan yet right by Mexico City. That will be coming soon. How much are stars? Stars, 100 stars equals to $1. You have to buy the stars first, and then you send them to the creator of your choice. In this case, it would be me. So first you buy it, and then you send it. Mo, am I multicasting? Yes, both to YouTube and Facebook. That's why I'm responding to 2 different sets of comments. Will you come to visit Liverpool? Oh, yes. So I mentioned this many times. I think people have already heard this countless times. But one of my top plans to do in the very, very near future is to go to UK and then later Ireland for 1 to 2 months and do all the cities and all the other small towns all around those islands. So Liverpool will be one of those stops, and you will see a Beatles tour. I've already covered the Beatles significantly. A John Lennon video will be coming out soon. So I'm so excited to go to the actual homeland of the Beatles. And you will be seeing, you know, Glastonbury again. You'll be seeing Stonehenge, Scotland like Edinburgh and Glasgow. The Highlands, hopefully there's service in the Highlands. Maybe I can show a few things in the Highlands. I'm very curious to visit Birmingham. Brighton also. Brighton is like the Coney Island of England. I like to visit Birmingham because it has a lot of cool industrial history. You'll be seeing a little bit more of Bristol. Belfast, of course, Darren. You've already been showing me so many wonderful places in Belfast. Thank you. And you'll be seeing all around England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and Northern Ireland. So all your contributions, Bath as well, all your contributions, whatever is left over from what I do in terms of taking transportation, showing you attractions here in these videos that I'm making in the near future. Anything that is left over does go to showing you places beyond New York. So thank you for all the supporters, star senders, PayPalers, super chatters, and patrons. Doug, you should do rent a sailboat and show us New York. I haven't rented a sailboat, but I have shown New York around the island. Search Urbanist Fireboat, I did a very cool video all around New York Harbor. And see the ferry video, not the ferry video, the sightseeing video I did 1 month ago. If you haven't, I haven't visited Edinburgh yet. I can't wait. I was in the big wheel in London. Oh yeah, I did a big wheel. I did the eye in London. I loved it. I got invited by the people who work at the eye. They were so nice to give me a private capsule, which was awesome. Mo, I've shown Gantry State Park so many times. Go to my last videos this past month. So just go check out my previous videos if you're new to Urbanist. I've shown Gantry Park, I've shown Long Island City, I've shown Williamsburg, the ferry multiple times. Hey Shadow, Katy Perry on. You and Kelly, another favorite of the boat. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed that boat video. Yep. B. Griffin. No more. I think I might need, I'm getting a lot of comments from new people, so welcome everyone who's new to Facebook and to YouTube. But I think I'm gonna need someone on both platforms to, if anyone asks about a previous video, someone who knows my previous videos a whole lot, to just say in the comment, check out Urbanist so-and-so, Urbanist Long Island City, Urbanist Ferry, etc., Urbanist London. If you want to be that person who's in the comments and just responds to that person who asks, oh, have you done a video of so-and-so? Let me know. Let me know if you want to volunteer. Yeah, let me know. Because I get a lot of those questions. Sometimes it gets a little bit repetitive. So let me know if you want to be that person, either on Facebook or on YouTube, to volunteer to be like, oh yeah, he's done that video before, check it out. Here's one of the historic cafes in New York, and it's open outdoors. They have a great neon sign, Finelli Cafe. Very famous. You'll see on a bunch of Instagrams, a bunch of photo shoots, fashion videos. Have I taken New Jersey Transit? Personally, yes, Adam. I've taken the New Jersey Transit to Jurral Square before. I enjoyed it. Haven't done so much of it, but you'll be seeing my experiences soon. This the week after next, I will be showing you Jersey City. Are there pina coladas on my shirt? No, these are just palm trees. Here's a very nice outdoor seating. Doug says, check every single video since the beginning. Urbanist in Jersey, yep. The week after next will be Urbanist in Jersey Day. Urbanist in Jersey week. Oh, Josie. I gotta work on my Jersey accent. If you know a good Jerseyan to listen to for a Jersey accent, let me know. Cynthia, thank you so much for the stars. Okay, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna end at my little favorite secret garden spot. Someone earlier said they followed me through Here Be Bar. Welcome, thank you so much for tuning in. Eugene, you were watching Action Kid last night. Oh, cool. Friend of mine, really awesome guy, really awesome YouTube creator. Use in Josie. Judith, have I done dance and music videos? Yes, I have done dance and music videos. Go to my YouTube, my other personal YouTube channel. That's where I post my short films and my dance films. Ariel Vieira on YouTube. I have two of them, but the one with more videos, that's the one I use. I'll actually try to change the name of the other one. People won't get confused. But yeah, Ariel Vieira. Do I dance? No. The dance videos I shoot, I film other dancers. I don't dance myself. I dance merengue for fun. I can kind of do salsa. Well, I consider doing a collab video with Michael Malice. He's writing about the Harlem Renaissance. OB, interesting. If you can, after this video, just leave me a link to his book in the comments of this video. Not in the chat, in the comments, so I can check it out. Yeah, I do love featuring authors. You know, sometimes they have very cool perspectives on cities, especially a place like Harlem. There's so much culture there. So yeah, B, thank you so much for recommending that. Luis, I speak Spanish. Sí, yo hablo español. Ariel es un nombre originalmente hebreo. Pero mi familia enteramente de Puerto Rico y español es mi primer lenguaje. My family is all from Puerto Rico. Spanish is my first language. Ariel is originally a Hebrew name, means Lion of God, but in certain Hispanic countries, it is used very often, specifically Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, in Colombia, and I think Venezuela as well. You will see a lot of males named Ariel. It tends to be more of a masculine name in Spanish. So here is a really cool bookstore. This is Mercer Street Books. I think it has been featured in a few films, so I highly recommend checking it out. So here is a good quote. It says, "The man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read." Oh yeah. And there's a few good New York City books here, like Vanishing New York. And they also have very classic pulp fiction novels. Do I have a middle name? Yes, I do. I do have a middle name. I'm not sure if I should reveal it. That no one has asked me. I think I have said it before, but I do have a middle name. Maybe another time I'll reveal it. But let me know, what are your theories of what my middle name is? Let me know. Mercer Street Books is the place. Let's have 100. Well, yeah, how many people are tuning in right now from Facebook and YouTube? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button for Ariel. Yes, smash it. Smash it. Just crush that like button. Crush it. All right, let's go. Yes, they have used books. That's the cool thing about that shop. They have old pulp fiction novels. 162 watching, only 62 likes. Oh, well, I do appreciate the 62 likes. Thank you. 162 people watching. That's awesome. Patricia, this is Mercer and Bleecker Street. I'll say this again. If you're watching these wandering videos, I would encourage you. I do understand you want to know where I'm walking, but I would encourage you for my videos, don't pay too much attention to the exact intersections. I'll tell you the neighborhoods, of course, but don't pay attention too much to the exact addresses, because we're gonna get bogged down if I stop at every single address and tell you. There's many other great channels where you can follow the route much more clear. One of them is my friend Action Kid. He does walking videos through New York, and you'll be able to follow his route. He posts maps. The reason I don't do that is because I'm literally going random in some of these videos. The history videos tend to be a little bit more structured. But the reason I do it randomly is because you get to experience the city in a different way. You get to really bump into new things, see new places. And trust me, after watching a few of my videos, when you come to New York, you might not know the exact addresses in your mind and the top of your head, but you will start remembering places. Let me know if that has happened to you. So let's finish at my favorite secret park. I've done a video about the architecture of this place, but my favorite secret park is right here, inside these co-op buildings. It is a public park. Anyone can come in. It looks private, but it's public. Jackie has a good theory of what my middle name is. It's Lin-Manuel. Ariel Lin-Manuel Vieira. That's a funny one. So here's a nice little private park. Well, secret park. It's public. Belongs to the building, but anyone can walk in. It's called Sasaki Garden. And I highly recommend visiting it. You might have seen this park in another YouTuber's videos, but I will not mention who, because I'm not sure if he wants me to reveal where he shoots some of his videos. And if you already know who I'm talking about, keep it to yourself. Don't say it out loud. Isn't there a ripoff? It's not a ripoff Picasso. It is a Picasso. It's just made in collaboration with his friend Nessajar. We just passed it. I do mention it in my video. Search Urbanist, 8 most unique buildings in Manhattan. Ariel Harold. You know, David, you would be surprised in the amount of Puerto Ricans that have very American names. It was very common for my parents' generation and a little bit for my generation as well, where they were given very American names. I actually don't have a very American name for any parts of my name, but some people do in Puerto Rico. Look at that willow tree. Oh yes, beautiful willows. Welcome to Sasaki Gardens in Greenwich Village. Ariel Ricardo. Oh, I like that. That one, Gladys. That is a good middle name to have. Ricardo. Yo soy Ariel Ricardo. Sounds like I'm a telenovela actor. Mira, María, ¿por qué? Mi nombre es Ariel Ricardo. Look at these beautiful starlings. Wow. This one's gorgeous. Let's zoom in. Kay says it's Alexandria. That'll be a very epic middle name. Ariel Enrique. Ooh, another telenovela name. That's another telenovela name, Ariel Enrique. Oh yeah, very, very telenovela. Ariel. Ooh, with rolling R's. My first name, Ariel. That's a little bit hard. Ariel Guillermo. Ariel Quixote. Ooh. That is very Spanish. I was raised in a family there was a lot of professors and a lot of educators. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if my parents would have decided with Quixote, but they didn't. But that was close. Ariel Misterio. Misterio means mystery in Spanish. Ooh, good one. Best is British. Oh, Best is British. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's sit down. Hopefully no starlings decide to take a nice relieve themselves right next to me. Best of British, can I have your face covering and your shirts? Yes, my shirt is from, I'm pretty far away from people, is from Bonobos. And this one is Bonobos. I sometimes get my shirts from a company called Sovereign Code as well. So Bonobos and Sovereign Code are my top 2 shirt stores currently. And then beyond that, for face masks is Smart Glamour. Go on Instagram, search smart_glamour with a U. Glamour with a U, written the British style. Smart_glamour. This is where I get my face masks from. Yeah. This is a massive park. It's pretty big. It looks bigger than it seems because I'm doing a wide angle. But it's about the size of Washington Square Park. Actually, much smaller, about half the size of Washington Square Park. And thank you so much, British, for the super chat. Wasn't your pirate ancestor called Ricardo? No, his name was Roberto Cofresi. Roberto Cofresi. Does this park have a garden? Yeah, I mean, you're looking at it. It might not be garden with a bunch of flowers, but there's a willow tree, very unique trees that some of them you only find in Japan. I think these ones are the Japanese ones. Just don't give my social security number. Oh, I won't. Trust me, I won't. I won't give my social security number. Does this park have a garden? Right here, you're seeing it. Then Ariel Roberto. Oh, good guess. Not quite. Not quite. You guys are getting very warm with all these Spanish names. You're getting very, very warm. Can we see the Picasso? All right, let's go to Picasso. We'll end there. Might as well go to the Picasso. There's an actor called Ariel Rivera in Philippines. Yes, I've heard of Ariel Rivera. Very similar to my name, yeah. That's so cool. Look at these apartments, they're huge. Oh yes, they are. You'll see more of these kind of apartment style in the outskirts of London and Paris as well. It's expensive. I think this is owned by NYU. So I think the people living here are staff of NYU and professors, but I'm not entirely sure of the full details. Ariel Rene. Oh, Diana. You know, Diana Rene is a very common middle name in Puerto Rico. I have many cousins who have Rene as a middle name. It's not mine, but very good guess. I assume you are from Puerto Rico, so that's why you know of it. Rolando. Ooh, Rolando. Rolando is very kind of sophisticated middle name. Ariel Rolando. Sounds like I need like 2 other middle names to make Rolando really work. Ariel Rolando Escobar Enrique Vieira. That would be my like Spanish. If I were a Spaniard, that would be my Spaniard name. Ariel Rolando Escobar Enrique Vieira. Jose o Antonio? Ooh, Roberto. Ask Cash Jordan. Yeah, Cash Jordan most likely knows stuff about this real estate. Check out the community garden on the corner of Bleecker. Yeah, it's right over here. But we shall be ending today here at the Picasso. Ariel Fabio. So this is just like a little courtyard, or I'm not sure what you would call it, but it's the little green space in the middle of these 3 towers that are called the Silver Towers. Ariel Enrique Vieira. Yeah, Ariel Jose. Jose, not so epic. No offense to all the Joses out there, but a middle name has a Jose is not so epic. I know, yo soy boricua también. Oh, qué bien, Diana. Eso porque tú sabes. That's why you know. All right, if I miss any questions, ask again. Beautiful is your middle name, your mother's maiden name? Not in this case. My parents, I grew up with that. Oh, no, not for me. Luckily, I mean, no, not at all. But that's a very interesting. In Puerto Rico, we use two last names. So my mother's maiden name would be on my birth certificate in Puerto Rico. So here's the Picasso/Nessejar. It's a Picasso design, and Nessejar took care of making the sculpture. Jackie says, I know, you are really Zorro and a secret superhero on your off time. Oh, see. I'm actually secretly a telenovela star. You're watching me do tours of New York, but at the same time, people in Mexico are seeing me on the small screen every single night as Ariel Enrique Rolando Escobar Viera. Ariel Ignacio, Ariel Alfonso. Oh, you guys are now getting very fancy. I love this. Ariel Esteban. Is Ben's still right there on Bleecker? Yes, it is. Cesar. Ooh, I like Cesar. Cesar is such an awesome name, especially with that accent. Jackie says my secret is out. Indeed. Indeed it is, Jackie. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. I visited our actual Picasso in the middle of New York. So check that out. Well, wonderful. I don't see some of the chats you're reading. B. Griffin, I'm streaming to both Facebook. Go to Urbanist Live, same logo, orange U, and doing Facebook. So that's why I'm doing both of these. So let me know if I missed any questions. African aesthetic, yeah, has a little bit of African flavor to it. I think that was one of Picasso's major influences, was African drawing and sculpture. See you next time, Adam. Thank you so much for tuning in, Adam. I visited the Picasso Museum in Malaga last year. Oh, cool. I remember seeing Guernica in the El Prado. I did a small video in El Prado when I went to Madrid, and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. So highly recommend going to El Prado to see a Guernica. Really epic painting. And you made this video fun with Find My Middle Name. I won't reveal my middle name, but if you do know it, please keep it on the down low. But I gotta have some privacy over here. But I appreciate all the guesses, and some of you got very close, very, very close. So, Urbanist Day, September 7th, 4 years making videos. Such a blast having all of you tune in, and many new faces here on both Facebook and on YouTube. So welcome everyone who's new to both of these platforms. I do videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and check them out. I do those history videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and then other random wanderings like we did today in chats. So you press that notification button, that bell button on YouTube, or click see all notifications on Facebook, and you'll see all of them. And I appreciate you protecting my privacy. Thank you everyone so much. I appreciate you respecting the privacy. But it was fun, everyone guessing the middle names. And I really do appreciate everyone tuning in, everyone lending their amazing comments and insights, stories. This is the beautiful thing about live video. This is why I choose to do live video, is that many of you lend interesting stories, your personal experiences. Sometimes you have really thought-provoking questions. Sometimes you have silly questions that are awesome to talk about. And this is what all of us together making these videos is really what makes live video powerful. I make edited videos, and they're different. So live is unique because of this aspect. you are part of the storyteller. I'm not just the only storyteller. You're part of the storyteller. So soon I'll reach 10K on YouTube. So if you all subscribe, go to YouTube, Urbanist History of Cities. And if I missed any of your questions, ask in the comments on YouTube, because I can't really respond to comments on the chat. And I'll respond to any questions I missed on Facebook. Everyone, keep being awesome. And really, really, always keep on exploring. Oh yes. Even if you have to explore in your own hometown, always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Have a happy Urbanist Day, everyone. Happy Urbanist Day. Ooh, big hand to a small hand. Have a happy Urbanist Day.